The McLaren F1 is widely known as one of the greatest cars ever built, and its story begins with a simple but powerful idea: to create the perfect road car. In the 1990s, when most supercars focused only on speed or style, the McLaren F1 was different. It was designed to be fast, comfortable, and usable all at the same time. This was not just a car, it was a vision of perfection. Built under the guidance of Gordon Murray, the F1 became the most expensive production car of its time and quickly earned legendary status. But what many people don't know is that one specific version of this car, known as Chassis 11R, went through a shocking transformation. It was not just modified, it was heavily altered and used in ways that even its creators never fully intended. This particular car became part of a hidden story involving racing, engineering experiments, and even secret development work by Mercedes-Benz. While all McLaren F1 cars are special, Chassis 11R stands out because of its unusual journey. It is one of only 28 F1 GTR race cars ever built, and even more rare as a short-tail version, of which only 18 existed. Its story is not just about speed or racing victories, but about innovation, risk, and transformation. To truly understand why this car is so important, we need to go back to the beginning, to the ideas that shaped the McLaren F1 and the people who dreamed of creating something extraordinary. This journey is not just about a car. It is about passion, engineering excellence, and the unexpected paths that can turn a great machine into a legend. The story of the McLaren F1 cannot be told without mentioning Bruce McLaren, the founder of the McLaren team. He was not just a racing driver, but also a visionary who believed that a car could be fast, reliable, and comfortable at the same time. During the early days of McLaren, the company focused mainly on building race cars, especially for competitions like Can-Am. These cars were powerful and successful, but Bruce McLaren had a different dream. He wanted to build a road car that carried the same engineering excellence as a race car, but could be driven every day. At the time, this idea was not taken seriously within the company because racing was the main priority and the team was growing rapidly. Sadly, Bruce McLaren passed away in 1970 during a test session, and his dream of building a road car was left unfinished. For many years, the idea remained dormant. However, the foundation he created and the philosophy he believed in continued to influence McLaren. His belief that performance and usability could exist together became a guiding principle for future projects. Even though he never saw the McLaren F1 come to life, his vision played a crucial role in shaping it. When people look at the F1 today, they often see it as a masterpiece of engineering, but it is also a tribute to Bruce McLaren's original idea. His dream was simple but powerful, and it eventually inspired a new generation of engineers to bring it to reality. This connection between past and future is what makes a McLaren F1 more than just a car. It is a continuation of vision that started decades earlier. Years after Bruce McLaren's passing, the idea of creating the perfect road car was revived by Gordon Murray, who had already achieved great success in Formula One racing. Murray approached the concept from a different angle. Instead of turning a race car into a road car, he wanted to build a road car that used the knowledge gained from racing. His goal was clear: create the best driver's car in the world without compromise. This meant focusing on lightweight design, balance, and precision. When Ron Dennis approved the project in 1989, Murray and his team began working on what would become the McLaren F1. The result was unlike anything the world had seen before. The car featured a central driving position, with the driver sitting in the middle and two passengers seated slightly behind on either side. This design provided better balance and a unique driving experience. The car also used advanced materials like carbon fiber, which was rare in road cars at the time. For the engine, McLaren partnered with BMW to create a powerful V12 engine that delivered both performance and reliability. Every detail of the car was carefully considered. Murray even insisted on using gold foil in the engine bay to manage heat, showing how much attention was given to even the smallest elements. The final product was a car that combined speed, comfort, and usability in a way that had never been done before. It was not just about numbers or performance. It was about creating a complete driving experience. This dedication to perfection is what made the McLaren F1 stand out, and why it is still admired today. The McLaren F1 was filled with innovative features that set it apart from other supercars of its time. It weighed only around 1138 kilograms, making it incredibly light for a car with such a powerful engine. The V12 engine produced over 600 horsepower, allowing the car to reach speeds that were unmatched at the time. What made it even more impressive was that it achieved this performance without relying on modern electronic aids like traction control or stability systems. Instead, it depended on pure mechanical balance and driver skill. This approach made the car more engaging and rewarding to drive. The design philosophy behind the F1 focused on simplicity and efficiency. For example, many parts were made from titanium to reduce weight, and unnecessary components were removed to keep the design clean. Even the air conditioning system was specially designed because existing systems were too heavy. Gordon Murray believed that every part of the car should serve a purpose, and if something required extra support, it meant the design needed improvement. This level of attention to detail resulted in a car that was not only fast, but also incredibly refined. It could be driven comfortably on regular roads, which was rare for a car with such performance. The McLaren F1 proved that it was possible to combine racing technology with everyday usability. This balance is what made it a true masterpiece and set a new standard for supercars. Interestingly, the McLaren F1 was never originally designed for racing. However, customer demand changed that. In the early 1990s, racing enthusiasts began asking McLaren if they could use their F1 cars in competitions. At the same time, a new racing category for GT cars was gaining popularity. Initially, McLaren was hesitant because turning a road car into a race car would require compromises. Eventually, they agreed and created the McLaren F1 GTR. This version was modified for racing, with changes such as a roll cage, aerodynamic improvements, and adjustments to meet racing regulations. However, the transformation was not perfect. The car still retained many characteristics of the road version, which created some challenges. For example, its longer wheelbase provided stability but reduced agility in tight corners. The aerodynamic design, which was ideal for high-speed road driving, did not generate enough downforce for racing conditions. Additionally, the cockpit became very hot due to limited ventilation, and the gearbox struggled under the stress of endurance racing. Despite these issues, the F1 GTR performed remarkably well. Its strong engine, balanced design, and reliability allowed it to compete against purpose-built race cars. This unexpected success showed that the original design of the McLaren F1 was truly exceptional. Even when pushed beyond its intended purpose, it continued to deliver outstanding performance, one of the most remarkable moments in the history of the McLaren F1 GTR came in 1995 at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. This race is known as one of the toughest challenges in motorsport, testing both speed and durability. 5 McLaren F1 GTR cars were entered into the race, competing against specialized prototype race cars. Despite being based on a road car, the F1 GTR achieved an incredible victory. 1 car won the race, and several others finished in top positions. This achievement shocked the racing world. It was a clear demonstration of the car's engineering excellence and versatility. Winning Le Mans was not part of the original plan for McLaren F1, yet it managed to outperform cars that were specifically designed for racing. This victory cemented its status as one of the greatest cars ever built. It also proved that the principles behind its design, lightweight construction, balance, and reliability, were effective in both road and racing environments. The Le Mans win remains one of the most important milestones in McLaren's history and a defining moment for the F1 among all the McLaren F1 GTR cars. Chassis 11 is one of the most fascinating histories. Built after the Le Mans victory, it competed in various racing events around the world. It performed well, achieving strong results and proving its capabilities on different tracks. Like many race cars, it underwent several changes over time, including repainting and upgrades. However, what happened after its racing career is what makes it truly unique. The car was reportedly acquired by Mercedes-Benz for development purposes, although this was never officially confirmed. Evidence and insider accounts suggest that it was used to test and develop components for a new race car project. This included experiments with aerodynamics, cooling systems, and engine configurations. The idea was to use the proven design of the McLaren F1 as a base for creating something even more advanced. This meant that the car was heavily modified, losing its original form in the process. For many enthusiasts, this was shocking, as the F1 is considered a masterpiece. However, it also shows how valuable the car's design was, even to competitors. Chassis 11R became a bridge between two different worlds, influencing the development of future racing cars. The development work carried out by Mercedes-AMG using Chassis 11R played a key role in the creation of the Mercedes CLK GTR. Engineers made significant changes to improve downforce and performance. They extended the body, added larger aerodynamic components, and adjusted the weight distribution. These changes helped create a car that was better suited for racing. The knowledge gained from working with the McLaren F1 allowed Mercedes to develop a competitive race car in a short time. This process highlights how innovation often builds on existing ideas. While the McLaren F1 was already a remarkable car, it also served as a foundation for further advancements. This collaboration, even if unofficial, shows the interconnected nature of the automotive world. It also adds another layer to the story of Chassis 11R, making it one of the most historically significant cars in motorsport. After its time with Mercedes, Chassis 11R was eventually returned to McLaren, where it underwent a full restoration. The goal was to bring it back to its original racing specification while preserving its unique history. The car was carefully rebuilt, and in some cases, it was even made road legal. This transformation turned it into a rare combination of a race car and a road car. Today, it is considered a valuable piece of automotive history. The restoration process raises interesting questions about how race cars should be preserved. Should they be returned to their original form, or should their modifications be kept as part of their story? In the case of 11R, different versions of its history are equally important. Each stage represents a different chapter in its life, from racing to development and finally to restoration. This complexity is what makes the car so special and adds to its legend. The McLaren F1 remains one of the most important cars ever created, not just because of its performance, but because of what it represents. It was built with a clear vision and executed with incredible attention to detail. Unlike many modern supercars, it was not designed for marketing or image, but for pure driving excellence. Its success in both road and racing environments shows the strength of its design. Chassis 11R add an extra layer to the story, showing how the car's influence extended beyond its original purpose. It became a tool for innovation and a symbol of engineering excellence. Even today, the McLaren F1 is seen as a benchmark for what a supercar should be. Its legacy continues to inspire engineers and enthusiasts around the world. The story of this car is not just about speed or competition. It is about vision, creativity, and the pursuit of perfection. And that is why the McLaren F1, especially Chassis 11R, will always be remembered as one of the greatest achievements in automotive history. What truly makes a McLaren F1 special is not just its history or engineering, but the way it feels when someone actually drives it. Many modern supercars rely heavily on electronics to control power and improve safety, but the F1 is very different. It gives full control to the driver, which makes the experience more raw and exciting. Sitting in the center position, the driver feels perfectly balanced, almost like being in a race car. This unique seating layout was designed by Gordon Murray to give the driver the best possible visibility and control. When people describe driving the F1, they often talk about how alive it feels. Every movement of the steering wheel, every press of the accelerator, and every shift of the gears creates a direct response. There is no delay, no artificial assistance, just pure connection between the driver and the machine. This kind of experience is rare, even among high-performance cars. It is one of the reasons why the F1 is still considered special today. In the case of Chassis 11R, this experience becomes even more interesting because of its racing history and modifications. Driving it is not just about speed. It is about feeling a piece of history. The sound of the V12 engine, developed with the help of BMW, adds to the emotion. It is loud, powerful, and unforgettable. For many enthusiasts, this sound alone is enough to create a lasting impression. The driving experience of the F1 is not just about performance numbers. It is about emotion, connection, and the joy of driving. This human element is what makes the car stand out, and why it continues to capture the imagination of people around the world. One of the most impressive things about the McLaren F1 is how it balances comfort and performance. Usually, Cars that are very fast are not comfortable to drive on regular roads. They are often noisy, stiff, and difficult to handle in everyday situations. However, the F1 was designed to be different. From the beginning, Gordon Murray wanted a car that could be used daily without sacrificing performance. This meant paying attention to details that many other manufacturers ignored. For example, the suspension was carefully tuned to provide a smooth ride, even on rough roads. The interior was designed to be comfortable and practical, with enough space for passengers and luggage. These features made the F1 more than just a weekend toy. It was a car that could be used regularly. At the same time, it did not compromise on performance. The lightweight design and powerful engine ensured that it remained one of the fastest cars in the world. This combination of comfort and speed is what made the F1 unique. It proved that a car could be both practical and exciting. In the case of Chassis 11R, this balance becomes even more interesting because it started as a race car. After being restored and made road legal, it became a rare example of a car that could perform on the track and still be driven on public roads. This dual nature adds to its appeal and makes it a true symbol of versatility. It shows that great design is not just about achieving one goal, but about finding the perfect balance between multiple needs. The McLaren F1 is often seen as a turning point in automotive history because of the innovations it introduced. Before its release, many of the technologies used in the F1 were either uncommon or completely new in road cars. For example, the use of a carbon fiber monocoque chassis was revolutionary at the time. Today, this technology is widely used in high-performance cars, but the F1 was one of the first to bring it to the road. This shows how the car influenced the entire industry. Another important innovation was the focus on weight reduction. Instead of adding more power to achieve higher speeds, the designers focused on making the car lighter. This approach improved performance, handling, and efficiency all at once. The partnership with BMW also played a key role in the car's success. The V12 engine they developed was not only powerful, but also reliable, which was essential for both road use and racing. These innovations were not just technical achievements. They were part of a larger philosophy. The goal was to create a car that set new standards and pushed the boundaries of what was possible. This is why the F1 is still studied and admired by engineers today. It represents a moment when creativity and engineering came together to create something truly groundbreaking. The influence of the F1 can be seen in many modern supercars, which continue to build on the ideas it introduced. This lasting impact is one of the reasons why the car is considered a legend. Cars like the McLaren F1 are not just machines. They are symbols of passion, ambition, and creativity. For many people, the F1 represents the ultimate dream car. It is something that goes beyond practical use and enters the world of emotion and inspiration. This emotional value is what makes the car so special. When people see an F1, they do not just see a vehicle, they see a story. They think about the people who designed it, the challenges they faced, and the success they achieved. In the case of Chassis 11R, this emotional connection is even stronger because of its unique journey. It has been a race car, a development tool, and a restored classic. Each stage of its life adds to its story and makes it more meaningful. This is why collectors and enthusiasts value cars like this so highly. They are not just buying a piece of metal. They are buying a piece of history. The involvement of companies like Mercedes-Benz adds another layer to the story, showing how even competitors can recognize and learn from great design. This emotional aspect is something that cannot be measured in numbers or specifications. It is about the feelings that the car creates and the memories it represents. This is what makes a McLaren F1 more than just a supercar. It is a true icon. The legacy of the McLaren F1 continues to influence the automotive world even decades after its release. Many modern supercars aim to achieve the same balance of performance, comfort, and innovation that the F1 introduced. However, very few have been able to match its level of impact. The reason for this is simple. The F1 was not created to follow trends. It was created to set them. The vision of Gordon Murray and the foundation laid by Bruce McLaren resulted in a car that changed the way people think about performance vehicles. Chassis 11 are add an extra dimension to this legacy by showing how the F1's design could be adapted and used in different ways. Its role in the development of the Mercedes CLK GTR highlights its importance not just as a finished product, but as a source of inspiration for future innovations. Today, the F1 is often compared to newer hypercars, but it still holds its own because of its unique approach. It reminds us that true greatness comes from clear vision and dedication, not just advanced technology. As time goes on, the story of the McLaren F1 and Chassis 11 will continue to inspire new generations of engineers, designers, and enthusiasts. It is a reminder that when passion and skill come together, the result could be something truly extraordinary. One of the key reasons why Chassis 11, or the McLaren F1, is so important today is its extreme rarity and the value attached to it. Even in the world of supercars, where limited production is common, the F1 stands out because only a very small number were ever built. Out of those, the racing versions, known as McLaren F1 GTR, are even more rare. Chassis 11 belongs to this exclusive group, and its unique history makes it even more special. It is not just a rare car. It is a one-of-a-kind example with a story that cannot be repeated. Because of this, its value has increased significantly over time. Collectors and enthusiasts are willing to pay extremely high prices to own a piece of automotive history like this. However, the value of 11 is not only measured in money. Its real worth comes from its journey, from racing on some of the most famous tracks in the world to being used in development work by Mercedes-Benz, and then being restored to its former glory. Each stage of its life adds to its importance. This makes it more than just a collectible item. It is a symbol of innovation and history. Owning such a car is not just about having something rare. It is about preserving a story for future generations. This is why cars like the F1 are often kept in collections and shown at special events. They are treated as pieces of art, admired for their design, engineering, and the stories they carry. Chassis 11 represents the peak of this idea, combining rarity, history, and emotional value in a way that very few cars can match. The restoration of historic cars like Chassis 11 or the McLaren F1 often leads to interesting debates among enthusiasts and experts. When a car has gone through many changes during its life, deciding how to restore it becomes a difficult question. Should it be returned to its original condition? Or should the changes made over time be preserved as part of its story? In the case of 11R, this question is even more complex because of its unique history. It started as a race car, was later modified for development purposes by Mercedes-Benz, and then restored by McLaren. Each version of the car represents a different chapter in its life. Some people believe that restoring it to its original racing specification is the best way to honor its history. Others argue that the modifications made during its development phase are equally important and should be preserved. There is no simple answer to this debate because both perspectives have valid points. Restoration is not just about repairing a car. It is about deciding which part of its history to highlight. In many cases, the decision depends on the purpose of the restoration. If the goal is to showcase the car as it was during its most successful period, then returning it to that state makes sense. However, if the goal is to tell the complete story, then preserving its changes might be more appropriate. This debate adds another layer of depth to the story of 11R and shows how complex the world of automotive history can be. It also highlights the importance of careful decision-making when dealing with such valuable and significant machines. The influence of the McLaren F1 can be seen clearly in modern supercars and hypercars. Many of the ideas that were introduced in the F1 have become standard features in today's high-performance vehicles. For example, the use of lightweight materials like carbon fiber is now common in supercar design. This approach helps improve performance by reducing weight while maintaining strength. The focus on aerodynamics and balance is another area where the F1 set an example. Modern cars use advanced technology to achieve these goals, but the basic principles remain the same. The idea of creating a car that is both fast and usable has also influenced many manufacturers. Today, companies aim to produce cars that can deliver high performance on the track while still being comfortable enough for everyday use. This concept, which was once considered unusual, is now widely accepted. The partnership between McLaren and BMW for the F1's engine also showed how collaboration between companies can lead to great results. This approach is still used today, with many manufacturers working together to develop new technologies. The legacy of the F1 is not just about its own success,